Your mental firewall has just been breached. My left-handed radio.
Here's a podcast I do, and I'm going to play it just for you. It's the podcast for laundry with Brett Davis. Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Brett Davis. You're listening to the podcast for laundry. Thank you for spending your laundry time with me and with my guest, Tim Platt.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Tim Platt is a very skilled comedian.
Thank you.
Actor or performer.
Mm-hmm.
It's you do a lot of things that kind of blur the lines between comedy and drama.
Mm-hmm.
And you do a show called Sloop Jumbly, a show called Made of Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
What else am I forgetting?
I do Cartoon Monsoon.
Cartoon Monsoon. How could I forget? Cultural Touchstone.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be in the oral history of Brooklyn comedy.
Is it embarrassing that I do sometimes think about not only my work but the people around me as oh, there could be an oral history about this. You know what I mean? I do sort of sometimes feel that is a possibility. It's just a cool thing to think about. But maybe that's being sort of this is a conversation podcast. I can talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I do think of that sometimes of what will be said about me, what will I be quoted as saying about other people, as a sort of fanciful.
Hey, well, that's what makes you America's sweetheart.
Thank you, Brett.
Okay, here we go. Here he goes. All right. So I don't know if you've heard the podcast before.
I've heard one or two episodes.
Okay, great. So we usually start out with what's called turning the tide.
Mm-hmm.
As you see here, I've got this bottle of Tide on the table.
Yeah.
At any point in the conversation, and if you could verbally say it too, you could literally turn this bottle away from you, and you can actually turn the tide of the conversation.
I feel like I've heard it said before, but then seeing it is just it's fun.
Yeah.
It's such a nerdy little fucking. Can we curse?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. You can curse.
It's just it's cute. I like it.
It's not nerdy. It's just
not like that.
I will admit I am a huge laundry nerd.
Yes, and that, which is funny because I know you, and it's you are into you're into wrestling, you're into other subcultures, so you being into laundry just makes perfect sense,
Okay, I'll take that. You see me a lot at nights because we're both performers.
Mm-hmm.
We're both hitting those stages, and then you'll see me on the special.
Yes,
the show that you're on sometimes that I host that you're so great on.
Oh, it is literally always a joy to be on the special.
Well, thank you. But you don't see me during the day where I am just doing my laundry sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, how often do you do your laundry? Because we can just talk about this, right?
Yeah. I'll do it 3 to 4 times a week.
3 or 4 times a week. Of course you would. You can't have a full load 3 or 4 times a week. So
no. It's rarely a full load, but I consider it it's just a little treat for myself. Okay, I'm seeing the laundry basket pile up. Why don't I just take this thing down to my local laundromat?
That's such a Brett thing. I feel
why is it such a Brett thing?
It's weird, idiosyncratic, and charming, and doesn't really make sense, but can sort of make sense. Because I feel if I were to have to do that much laundry, I'd have to go for runs 2 or 3 times a day just to have enough dirty clothes. And I even reuse running shorts and stuff like that, and even running socks sometimes. So it's funny.
Well, we're here in the Metro Community Laundromat. This is your local laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do laundry every week?
No, I do not. I feel like I do laundry maybe once every 3 weeks.
Oh,
I feel like I let it wait. I wait for a while, and then I wait for a while. Then I don't do all of the laundry. I do most of the laundry, and leave a little bit behind because it's overflowing a little bit.
Well, this place is one of the nicer laundromats in New York City.
This is a very nice laundromat.
Yeah.
And it's open 24 hours. And so I moved in with my girlfriend a year ago, And I used to live in Crown Heights, and the laundromat by me closed at 7. It was like not very spacious, so I had to get it done like earlier than 7 if I wanted to, or on the weekend if I needed to. And so when my girlfriend and her roommates at the time were like complaining about doing laundry, I would be like, "You have the best laundromat in the city. You can do it anytime. Why are you? You cannot complain about this, you know." And now that I live out here, I complain about it because it's laundry, of course. But it's definitely a nice experience.
Shouldn't complain about it. Laundry is great. I like this place because it's close to the L, close to the G. And no creeps go waiting at the Metro community for Tim Platt to come in once a month.
Do people what?
Well, I'm always a little concerned because we're saying where people do their laundry, and if someone is maybe an overzealous fan, I don't want them to just show up.
Oh yeah. That's super thoughtful of you. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this podcast.
What have you been thinking about?
I don't know. I'm just it's been a fatiguing few weeks, just interviewing guest after guest after guest, and people are more and more difficult.
I mean, I've heard a few episodes, and it does seem like people question the concept of the podcast.
It's weirdly contentious.
I guess I get it, because but it's no more niche than doing like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, except Dungeons and Dragons is innately more performative. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'd say Dungeons and Dragons is niche.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
what I'm
laundry is universal.
I mean, yes, everyone does laundry, but talking about laundry is that's what's fun about it. Is that
well, everybody talks about the weather.
Yeah, there could be a podcast about the weather though.
And would that be considered a niche podcast?
Okay, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm with you. I mean, I have noticed people get, I don't know, people are fucking cranks though. I feel about podcasts and shit. I feel like people do give you a hard time about this. But I think it's super cool, and I'm really glad you're doing it. And it's so Brett, and it's so fun, and people are listening. Like I've seen reviews. So that's
thanks to the AV Club Podmas who did bring up the same thing that I was like. This is a fun way to spend your laundry time, but it is a bit. It is a bit. I don't know. Tunnel vision. We're gonna do a segment.
Okay.
As you said, that this podcast has been gaining more and more listeners, and it's really wonderful. And I actually put out a wide open question to social media. I say, what are your laundry fails?
Okay.
And I was astounded at the amount of responses we got. So here is our segment. It's called Laundry Fails. Hold for bumper. Okay, so are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
These are real people with real problems, and I think you'll get a kick out of some of them. Okay, so we've got at Hank Tullis. He says, I have programmed space launch software and tuned large databases. Why can't I fold a fitted sheet? # laundry fail.
I mean, I guess I'm there too. Yeah. I mean, I can't really fold a sheet very well. I have more if we're talking about sheets, what I have more trouble with is putting it in the right way on the mattress. Do you know what I mean? Where the fitted sheets, I'll always put it I'll put it horizontal or vertical, whichever way it's not supposed to be.
Yes.
That's that's what I do. I mean, yeah, that's not really a fail, but I get it.
These are fun, and I left it open to interpretation of people.
Because you're engaging with the fans in a really fun, consistent way, which you need to do that.
I mean, it's a part of modern culture now. It's like if you have a something that you're trying to show to people, they have to be a part of it. They have to take some ownership of it.
Of course.
And these people get it, and I don't know why some of the past guests haven't.
I mean, I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, dude.
All right, so the JC Aucoin said, I could pass a Texas government test without studying, but don't ask me how to get the downy ball to pop in the wash. # laundry fail. # Texas government with ease.
I mean, isn't that just natural culture that right now is that we have these super we're super skilled and learn in all these different ways, but to do sort of menial tasks, we like quote unquote millennials don't know what we're doing. Like you know, that's just sort of that's classic. I love it. I love it.
And I mean, just for JC's sake, the Downy ball will pop when it needs to.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are so worried about, oh, my Tide Pod won't dissolve, or but, you know, it's just trust it. Like it knows what it's doing more than you do because it has one thing.
Yeah, to quote Brett Davis, trust the Downy ball.
Yeah.
It's cute. I like that.
So this is Steph Archivist says, Dag nabbit, missed a lone sock, #laundry fail.
Now that is one thing where I am definitely like I lose socks all the time at the line, but I do feel like I usually lose them, like transporting from the washer to the dryer.
Yeah.
Like that is where they sort of fall out of the cart. Because I'm always looking inside and trying to pick it off the wall of it, you know. But it's on that transfer over where I mess up.
I think when I'm grading, and I personally grade laundromats for fun. That's why I don't live near the metro community.
Why am I not surprised?
But yeah, the laundry cart specifically is something I think about because it's so often overlooked. You know, my girlfriend has very small socks, and then when they're crumbled up, and they are smaller than the actual holes.
Do you do your girlfriend's laundry?
Yeah.
That's cute.
What's
that is very
cute
Brett.
about it?
It's just it's very Brett.
Why do you keep saying it's very Brett? That's
because it's like this is your podcast and it's like everything. Because it's specific. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. This one is from.
What's the next one?
This one is from Stephanie Ives 3. She says, "Put clothes on the patio to dry. Forgot it was the same time the sprinklers come on. #counterproductive. #facepalm. #summerbrain. #laundry fail."
Nice.
Well, first, it feels like she's participating in 4 sort of themed tweets from different specific podcasts. But
are we different? Wait, are they? I don't understand. Are they different podcasts?
No, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Over my head.
Yeah. The sprinklers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in New York it's hard to have sprinklers, so I assume she lives.
Well, yeah, these are from all over the world. These aren't just people in New York.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess there was a Texas one. There's this one.
I'd say me personally, I have a small but proud. I'm proud of them fan base that come to see me live. But Podcast for Laundry is bigger than me, and
yeah,
there are people that aren't necessarily Brett fans, but are fans of the Podcast for Laundry.
That's so cool. I do feel like because I feel like I don't. To talk about me for a second, like I feel like in the products that I make, I don't usually have fans that are outside of people who know me, or like a very small group of people. Like it's just sort of, I don't know, it's sort of
just weird.
It's not weird.
Oh, your stuff is very weird.
It is. I'm sorry. I get this is truly like a bit of a pet peeve of mine where like people call my work or me weird a lot, and I understand that is true, but it always just feels like a box that I am put in, which is not the worst thing in the world.
It's not. No, I mean, I was saying it as a positive.
No, I know you were, because people usually do mean it as a positive, but just like it frustrates me when people are like, oh, that's so weird in my mind. Like the asshole in me is going to be like, you are not thinking deeply enough to figure out what this actually is. So you're saying weird because you can't figure out. You don't want to engage with the word. But that's
I mean,
that's
I love
me
weird though.
Like, no, exactly. Me
Chris
too.
Gethard always says like beautiful anonymous is like his thing for everybody. Chris Gethard show is like his weird thing.
Yes.
And you don't have a normal thing, so you're just weird all the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like I guess I can be my most normal.
Steph Archivist. Oh no, I did Steph Archivist. Fiona Jane Book says, guess who got up early to get a load of sheets and towels on the line? Lightning, lightning, lightning. Raindrop, raindrop, umbrella. Hashtag laundry fail.
Her clothes got wet.
Yeah. Similar to the sprinkler thing, but this is universal.
Yeah.
That'll happen in New York if you have a clothesline.
I guess not that many people have clotheslines in New York, though, right?
No, I think if you go to like Little Italy.
Oh yeah, and I'm constantly going to Little Italy.
I go to Little Italy. It's a nice neighborhood.
It is nice. I'm being
Jackass.
No.
Jake McGraw says, if you're wearing a white dress shirt, don't get the blueberry pancakes. Hashtag pancake fail. Hashtag laundry fail.
I bought white pants the other day, and
After Labor Day?
No. This was in the beginning of the summer.
Okay.
I had a gift card.
Not the other day. You're doing that like stand-up comedian thing where it's like, yeah, this thing happened the other day, and it's like, yeah, I graduated high school.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm a stand-up comedian. I use stand-up vernacular when I speak stories, and that's not.
When you speak stories.
Yeah, when I tell stories, you know. Like,
I hear your stories, but I do not listen because you speak them. You do not tell them.
Okay. This is turning out to be. This is such a Brett fucking thing.
What is such a Brett thing?
I got these white pants, and I wore them. I was going to a reading. I was doing a reading for a play.
Typical.
And yes, well, hopefully more. And I, first of all, everyone was wearing black because I was an idiot. Everyone was wearing black pants and I was wearing white pants, so I would look like an idiot. But I literally spilled coffee on the way from the train to the reading on my pants, and I was like, "This is just class. This is just me," you know.
Now and I'm not judging you. I always keep an extra pair of pants in my backpack.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
But you do characters, so you need like different. You need to like put on clothes to like communicate
when
to the
I
audience
perform
that you're
live,
taking it
I
seriously, you know.
almost entirely do characters, but I don't need them for people to take me seriously.
No, I'm just saying that, like, performatively, like the costumes help communicate that you like, because what you're doing, it could be, I love your work, and like I think what is cool about it is that like it is so. No, I'm being a dick, but weird, you know. But it's like so.
I embrace weird.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Great. Good for you.
Keep Brett weird.
Yes. And what the clothes communicate is like, oh, I put thought in. What I'm not saying is it could be conceived as thoughtless, but it's not. It's very well thought out, and the clothes are helping communicate to the audience that like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, it's not dumb. It's like it's what it is. You know, like for example, like this podcast, like this is actually another pet peeve of mine when people are like, oh, I did this dumb thing. You know, like, oh, here's this idea is so dumb, and then they just do a good thing. You know what I mean? But just like we need to say, I had a dumb idea. Oh, it's such a dumb idea, to communicate that like, oh, this idea was a risk because it seemed not what I wanted, but it's actually a very good idea. To take that to this podcast, like, yeah, it's a dumb idea, like a podcast about laundry, but it's not dumb. It's just like an impassioned, specific idea that is coming from you. I'm sorry. I'm sort of. I'm.
No. What are your other pet peeves? Seems like that's what you want to talk about.
I don't want to, but okay. I mean, I'm a bit of a crank. Is there a crank?
A Craig?
A crank.
Crank. Okay.
I'm a bit of a crank. I have a pet peeve of like, you know, feeling disrespected, obviously, or like. A lot of people tell me I look like Jesse Eisenberg, which is not like a huge pet peeve. It's happened enough.
I'd say you don't look like Jesse Eisenberg, but
I have a thing.
You have a whole thing.
I have a whole thing that's somehow similar to him, which I admit is true, but like I hear it enough times that it's become like a sort of annoyance.
It's like you're wound up too tight.
Yeah, or I somehow performed that, you know, which is, you know.
Everything is a performance with Tim Platt. Here's another one.
That's not. I mean, well, that's not true though. Like I do feel like
Oscar Jr. says, made it all the way to the laundromat and forgot detergent. Hashtag laundry fail. All caps.
That's not really a fail. Let's just like go back to your apartment and or buy one at the. And you'll have some more later.
Yeah, but this is another thing I have a problem with laundromats is that not the best detergent selection. If there was like we're living in Brooklyn. That's the
I know.
It's the artisanal, the capital of the world.
Yeah, where are the artisanal detergents? The artisanal bleachers. I'm one step ahead of you as usual. So yes, I'm with you.
Are you being sarcastic?
Hey, Forever Dog listeners, it's Jonathan Braylock,
Dra Milligan,
and James III
from Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood. This year, we have seen what staying silent can do, and right now, you have an unprecedented opportunity to speak up, cast your vote, and be heard.
It's never too early to register to vote, but it might be too late before you know it.
We want to help make it easy for you to register and have a plan for November 3rd or before if early voting is an option in your state so that your country can finally reflect your values.
Yes, go to foreverdogpodcast.com/vote to register. Check on your registration often. You should do it like every day to make sure and learn how to fill out your ballot.
I don't know about every day, but listen.
Every day.
All right, still register.
Good. Am I good? All right.
Gotta make sure people care.
All right, each state is different, so make sure you're following local rules and regulations. And remember, your voice, your vote. That's foreverdogpodcast.com/vote.
Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.
Yeah, but y'all better vote.
All right, go vote.
Hello, Forever Dog listeners. This is Julie Klausner.
And I'm Tom Sharpling.
And we host a podcast called Double Threat on the Forever Dog Network that we are commanding you to subscribe to. Tom, what is Double Threat?
Well, thank you for asking, Julie. Double Threat's a show where you and I listen to clips of things that drive us up the wall, and we make fun of them, and we make each other laugh, and we have a great time doing it.
And we watch silly things and listen to silly clips like Alec Baldwin interviewing Woody Allen on his podcast, which was a nightmare from hell.
And did you know that disgraced pizza magnate Papa John is giving tours of his mansion over on TikTok? We do, because we watched it, and it was not good.
By the way, we should also mention that the AV Club named us one of the best podcasts of 2020 because they did, and it's true, and we are, baby.
And here on Double Threat, we got great guests. We had guests like Desus and Mero,
Bob the Drag Queen,
Patton Oswalt,
Io Adebri.
And that, my friends, is just the tip of the iceberg.
That
Double
is.
Threat comes out each and every Monday, and you can subscribe on the Forever Dog Network, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Do it. Subscribe. Goodbye.
Can you afford to not know what left-handed radio is? You probably answered no, right? That's where you landed?
No, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm doing the game. I'm doing the podcast.
Okay.
This is actually another thing. Is like I feel like I have a tone where people sometimes, well, I like this. I like what this is.
Okay, cool. Because I think this is a staple of your performance is that there is a level where it's like, I am patronizing you. But it's very knowing, and it's very you're just, is everything okay?
First of all, I will say that yes, in my performances, I do like to play with this sort of intention. If I can
High status characters.
Yes.
If you're from the improv world.
Yes, which I am, of course. Playing with different status negotiations, high and low. And I do think in performance there is a humor in sort of as a performer knowing where their character is crossing a line, but still having that character cross the line. That's what I think. But I do want to genuinely say this is not like I am not trying to be condescending. I know that I play with my tone enough that is a way it can be communicated. Literally, I was hanging out with my girlfriend's friend last weekend who was super cool. And I said something genuine, and she was like, "Are you making fun of me?" And I was like, "No, I just said something genuine." And she was, this is not, yes, this happens sometimes. So I'm not trying to make fun. I'm sorry if that's how it sounds.
No.
I do like this. I like this. I'm not trying to be a dick.
You do.
Yeah, this is weird and cool and niche, and it's a Brett Davis thing.
Okay.
You know?
I'll ignore the niche thing.
That's not. It's not. That's.
I know. No, just in the way that weird is not an insult for me to you.
Okay. Taken. Yes. Point taken.
But
Point taken.
we've had lots of mutual friends have been on this podcast and have sat not exactly where you sit because we bounce around from place to place, but in the chair I carry to each laundromat, and they sit and they criticize me, and it's kind of.
I see. Yeah,
It's. I don't question if they're friends, because I think by the end of the podcast I know whether or not they're actually friends. But I do question what their motivation is and what they think of this thing. Because there are a lot of people that say they love this, but then there are a lot of people that, I mean, you look at the fucking descriptions on this podcast, and it's like they're roasting me in the description.
Well, so you felt free to analyze what I'm doing performatively, and so allow me the same courtesy. Like, you do invite, and this is one thing I think is really interesting about you as a performer, is that like you do invite, you tend to play these characters where you are asking people to shit on them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but this isn't a character.
No, exactly.
This is me
but,
for the first time.
Yes, but like when you're inviting these performers who are used to dealing with you in character, like that's like a natural thing that's going to come out, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure people are playing along with what they think needs to be played along with, which frankly makes a cool podcast. I've listened to a few episodes, and that's like sort of what's fun. But
that's not what's fun for me, though.
Well, but it's the conversation. Like, that's what's fun.
It is the conversation, and I've had nice conversations. Meredith Graves was just genuinely excited. Chris Duffy was excited, kind of an idiot, but like, you know, all these
but
people.
Even those people who are excited, like, that is under the veneer of this like meta. I know. I'm sure you hate that word as much as I hate it. Weird.
I hate
I'm
it.
Sure you hate meta as much as I hate weird.
I don't hate the word meta. I hate the word veneer because it's veneer.
Veneer.
Veneer,
not vernier. Is it vernier or Vermeer?
At Single Mom Style says,
turn the tide.
Whoa.
I don't want any more of these.
I've got
fails.
like 20 more of these.
I am turning the tide.
You seem okay. Here's the thing. You just turned the tide in this segment that is quintessentially the podcast for laundry. I'm talking to real people, or I'm getting feedback from real people.
We were just talking about something that was like interesting and like sort of like had real heat to it, and you turned away for this segment, which like is not giving a lot of heat.
We
have talked about
diverging.
Laundry.
This is the podcast for laundry.
I'm turning the tide. So I'm sure you have fucking 15 other segments with 15 other bumpers, so we can do the next one.
I mean, most of this hour was planned to be the laundry.
I turned the tide. I can't unturn it based on the rules that you set up.
Well, I'm sorry.
This is it right here. Like this personality where you're inviting people to be combative against it.
I'm not. I'm literally not inviting it for every future guest of the podcast for laundry that's listening. I do not invite.
Yeah, because the future guests are the only people who are listening. That was me. That was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke. See, I like the idea, but you're making me feel like I'm a dick for liking the idea.
Mm-hmm. So what? I have a new segment.
Okay.
This is called The Agitator.
Mm.
Hold for bumper.
Excuse me?
Hold for bumper.
I was doing a voice.
Well, it confuses the editor. Hold for bumper. So, The Agitator. Now, this is a segment where you have to figure out what the segment is.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Very meta, very Brett.
All right. Well, good luck. Good night and good luck.
Is it a good movie?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So, Brett, what do you? I mean, Tim, what are you working on now?
What?
What?
Are you?
Something weird, I presume?
Right now, I am trying to write some like versions of children's books, I guess.
Versions of children's books?
Are you making fun of my speech impediment?
Is it an impediment?
I mean,
No! Don't you understand? I was just taking a realistic situation and turning it on its head.
you were just speaking in my cadence, which I'm kind of okay.
Kind of what about?
Do you want me? Is this what we're supposed to talk about? I can't tell. I can't tell right now. Like, is this the agitators that?
What's important is to be honest.
Okay. 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 So, sorry, I was being a dick there. Basically, I had like speech therapy when I was a kid, and I still feel sort of insecure about. Like I so I used to talk like this, like my always and my s's. That was how I talked to the kid.
Can I try to talk like that?
Sure, talk like that.
You talk with your odd and your ethes?
Yes, that's how I talk.
Is this offensive to you?
No, it's not offensive to me.
Okay.
But I will say why that I was getting sort of prickly before is that I do feel like my R's are still sort of soft, and like I feel like I have a very, I don't know. A bunch of people have asked me before if like where I'm from in a way that makes me feel like it's not offensive, but just sort of like, oh, my voice still isn't like it's still.
So this is actually a part of you. It's not part of being weird.
I'm
just being honest.
Is that what the agitator is? We're being honest now? I guess. Yeah, we're being.
What's wrong, Tim?
Nothing's wrong.
Are you okay? You seem a little uncomfortable. Maybe you have a reading to 1-2.
No, I don't have anything else to do. I have no readings tonight.
Prick. What's your turge? Hold for bumper. This is the segment where I ask, what's your favorite laundry detergent?
Tide.
Tide?
Yeah.
Sure loved turning the tide when it was the easy breezy laundry fell segment, huh?
I use Tide. I've always used Tide.
You use Tide, you drink Coke, you eat the vanilla.
I do like vanilla. I see now I'm fucking super focused on my voice and trying to enunciate well.
Oh, you weren't doing that before?
No, I was trying to talk naturally. But I'm sorry. I'm bringing my baggage to your podcast, and that's fucking. I'm sorry. That's rude. That is rude.
That is rude.
Tide is the detergent I use. That's my turge. What's your turge? Tide. You have 15 other. You have like what? 14 other segments, right? Isn't that what you said?
I had one segment, and it was laundry hacks or laundry fails, and I had a whole show planned around the laundry. This was going to be the laundry fails episode.
I just don't understand how you can.
And then you had to start unpacking everything. You had to start, needling in on what.
And this coming from Mr. Meta right here,
Mr. Meta.
This sucks. This sucks.
What sucks about it, man?
This is truly something I feel insecure about. So please don't do that.
All right. We're gonna move forward. Let's see what else do we got? Spin cycle. What are you spinning these days?
What do you mean?
What? Well, first spin cycle. Hold for bumper. Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
Look, I was trying. I was.
I know.
throwing you a
I know.
bone
I was
there.
being petulant, and I'm sorry. And that was just. I'm sorry. I was being a kid. Spin cycle. What is that? Is that? I've heard this on. It's like a music thing. Like what
It's
you listen.
music. Yeah,
Okay.
you talk about what music you're into.
Um.
Spin cycle.
I've been listening to a lot of Steve Reich.
Steve.
Oh,
Reich.
is it Reich or Reich? I don't know.
I didn't know if you were saying it wrong or if that's just how you say it. Steve Reich. I've seen it written. I don't hear people talk about
Yeah,
Steve.
me too. So I don't know if it's Reich or Reich. So maybe I was speaking it wrong. I also was listening to what else? I usually listen to Spotify.
Oh, what's his stuff like?
Yeah. I was listening to. I listened to on the way here for the first time. I listened to first time in a while was Rilo Kiley's More Adventurous, which is an album I liked a lot in high school, and for some reason I pulled it up.
Oh yeah.
I've also listened to Tom Lehrer, the '60s like
Hello Mudda, Hello Fada.
I don't know if he did that, but he did like sort of
It's like
funny songs like that.
I don't know. I kind
Like that.
of loop in all musical comedy is dumb, but you do musical comedy.
I
sometimes.
sure do, and there's definitely fun stuff there. And I've been listening to They Might Be Giants as well because
Yeah. All right. What about They Might Be Giants?
I've just our mutual friend Joe Rumrill made a Spotify playlist of good songs.
Okay. Stop being weird.
What?
Here's something that I don't have a segment for it, but what kind of movies are you watching these days?
I haven't watched a movie in a while. I've been watching in terms of TV, I've been watching a lot of Steven Universe, and my girlfriend had never watched Game of Thrones before, so she's been starting that, and so me and my roommates have been watching that with her.
But specifically films, did you I don't know if you're are you a comic book fan?
I am a comic book fan.
What did you think about Batman v Superman?
I
Dawn
didn't
of
see
Justice?
it. I didn't see it. I don't like I feel like I come into those movies. I feel like I come into those movies with so many opinions, but because I am a comic book fan, that I always don't take them in as movies and just take them as sort of.
It's funny you're doing a killer impression of Lex Luthor.
It's a Jesse Eisenberg character.
Yeah.
I get compared to him a lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
What was it you said?
You're weird? He's weird too.
Am I supposed to fucking engage with you about I don't get it.
Whoa.
No. Am I supposed to call it out? Am I supposed to? Is that what you want me to do?
This is the podcast for laundry, and we are keeping it civil. And you're freaking out the people here at the Metro Community Laundromat.
They know me here.
They know you here?
They don't know me here. No one knows anyone at a fucking laundromat.
I know the people. I know the guy at this laundromat.
Okay. You know.
His name's Tian. It's Chinese. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but what would you know about pronunciation?
Just don't. Let's not. What? Please hit.
I'm sorry?
I just don't know if you want me to engage or not. I don't know if this is like you, because you say you're not in character, so I don't know if it's like a Brett Davis thing or like a Brett, quote unquote, Brett Davis thing.
Well, I'm just saying you shouldn't have turned the tide when we were on a roll.
You said I could turn the tide at literally any time I wanted to.
Oh my God. Now you're doing a bit. Now it's a bit. Okay.
What is a bit?
You're literally doing it at any time you wanted to. Here, repeat. Here, it's a good movie?
What's a good movie?
You like musicals, right?
I do like musicals.
You ever see My Fair Lady?
No, I actually don't know My Fair Lady.
Well, it's about this woman, and she is kind of like a lady of the streets, just like kind of Cockney and all over the place, and she meets this gentleman, and he starts training her to be a lady, not unlike Pretty Woman situation. And there's a scene that's so famous where he's like, and maybe we could do some like act out right now. I'll be the gentleman and you be the woman, where he's like, okay, repeat after me. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. And then she, in her Cockney accent.
I can't do accent.
Just do your normal voice.
The rain in Spain falls.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
The rain in Spain.
Spain.
In Spain.
Spain.
I'm saying Spain fine.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
The AI is not the word.
The
not
rain
the
in
consonant I have
Spain
trouble with.
stays mainly on the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
Stays. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. Thank you so much for joining us, Tim. It was a real pleasure. When can folks see you around?
I don't know when this is gonna be published. I do Sloop Jumbly once a month, and I do Made of Bugs once a month. So whenever those are, when is it gonna come out so I can plug specific dates?
I'm just saying, check out your Twitter.
Oh yeah,
this will
my
be out
Twitter's
very soon.
my Twitter's at Timothy Platt.
Are you okay, man?
I'm fine. My Instagram is I am King Bozo.
Okay. Enough plugs. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast for Laundry. We'll catch you next week.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Joe Cilio, Alex Ramsey, and Brett Boehm. For more podcasts, please visit foreverdogproductions.com.
Dog.
Unless you listen to left-handed radio, you won't know what left-handed radio is.